सदृशो माया समाच्छादनात् सन्मात्रः करणोपसंहरणतो यो भूत् सुषुप्तः पुमान् प्रागस्वाप्समीति प्रबोधसमये यप्रज्ञभिज्ञायते तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये बाल्यादिष्वपि जाग्रदादिषु तथा सर्वास्वस्थास्वपि व्यावृत्तास्वनुवर्तमानमहमित्यन्तः स्फुरन्तं सदा स्वात्मानं प्रकटीकरोति भजतां यो मुद्रया भद्रया तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये विश्वं पश्यति कार्यकारणतया स्वस्वामि सम्बन्धतः शिष्याचार्यतया तथैव पितृ पुत्राद्यात्मना भेदतः स्वप्ने जागृति वाय एष पुरुषो माया परिभ्रामितः तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये भूरम्भांस्यनलो नीलोऽम्बरमहर्नाथो हिमांशुः पुमान् इत्याभाति चराचरात्मकमिदं यस्यैव मूर्त्यष्टकम् नान्यत् किञ्चन विद्यते विमृशताम् यस्मात् परस्मात् विभो तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये सर्वात्मत्वमिति स्फुटीकृतमिदं यस्मादमुष्मिंस्तवे तेनास्य श्रवणात् तदर्थमननात् ध्यानाच्च संकीर्तनात् सर्वात्मत्वमहाविभूतिसहितं स्यादीश्वरत्वं स्वतः सिद्धेतत्पुनरष्टधा परिणतं च ऐश्वर्यमव्याहतम् तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नम इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये हरि ओम। हरिओम स्वामी जी, माइक म्यूट है।
महादेव महादेव। महादेव महादेव महादेव। सुनाई दे रहा है?
हाँ स्वामी जी, हरिओम महादेव।
महादेव महादेव। चलो, शिवाय नमः, शिवाय नमः। ओम ओम यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वम् यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तं देवमात्मबुद्धिः प्रकाशम् मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादीनगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधाम् बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततम् पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। ब्रह्माहं यत्प्रसादेन मयि विश्वं प्रकल्पितम् श्रीमत्स्वयं प्रकाशाख्यम् प्रणौमि जगतां गुरुम्। यः परमात्मा जगत् सृष्ट्वा प्रविवेशः पुनः स्वयं तं कृष्णं प्रत्यगात्मानं वन्दे गोपी मनोहरम्। यस्य प्रसादादहमद्वयात्मा विश्वं समस्तं मयि कल्पितं च तं सर्वलोकैकगुरुं सदाश्री स्वयं प्रकाशं गुरुमानतोऽस्मि। गुरूणां चरणां भोजं प्रणिपत्य निरन्तरं तत्कृपा लेशोद्वैत चिंता कौस्तुभमारभे। A little more background before we once again enter into the topic of refuting the basic premises of the Vaisheshika system. Sorry. A little more background. The only sadhana which is which can be called as the Vedantic sadhana, is Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasanam. Shravanam means listening to the Upanishads and arriving at a conclusive understanding. Okay? The Upanishad has made a pratishtha, has made a declaration. And the declaration is that he who knows Brahman will be liberated. Brahmavid apnoti param. This is the pratishtha. So, having made the declaration, the one who makes the declaration will have to substantiate his declaration with appropriate material. Correct? He will have to provide evidence, he will have to provide the praman, he will have to provide the logic. In once the person has said something, that means he's committed to it. Similarly, Shruti, meaning the Upanishad, has said he who knows Brahman will be liberated. So, liberation then is understood as an effect of knowing. Correct? Knowing Brahman, obviously. Liberation then is the effect of knowing. So, Jnanam is the moksha karanam. Okay. And in order for knowledge to take place, we require praman. What do we require? Praman. A means, a system which will generate the knowledge. We require a system which will generate the knowledge. Now, that system could be something that is naturally endowed by a person, like the eyes and ears. In order to know the colors and forms, we are endowed with the system of eyes, chakshurindriya, and the auditory faculty, the visual faculty, the auditory faculty. What are they doing? They are generating the knowledge. So there is one system which generates the knowledge of rupa ranga, colors and forms. We are endowed with another system that generates the knowledge of sounds, shabda jnanam. It creates. So there is a system which we are naturally endowed with. Yet there are some other systems which we have to acquire. Just because they are not natural, which means there is no effort in having them. By natural means all of them are in natural systems only. But because it is an order, this is Ishvara's body, okay? Anyway, so we have just we have to acquire them. For example, inference. Inference is something which a person will have to develop, acquire. So when a person sees the association of smoke with fire in in several places. And thus, then he comes to the conclusion of the association of smoke with the fire, that there is a vyapti, niyamena sahacharyam. The smoke, association of the smoke with the fire is by rule, meaning you cannot discover smoke without fire. Niyamena, there is a niyama, by rule. Sahacharyam, it's association, it's being together. Now, once when this is registered, then whenever you see the smoke, but you do not see the fire, yet this earlier knowledge allows you to now know that there is fire even in place where you cannot actually see the fire. This, and as much as the inference goes on becoming sharper, okay, means sharper means correct. To that extent, now your knowledge becomes subtler and correct. So inference for over here is something that is developed, is something which is acquired, and this inference therefore allows you to know. So we have a system, some system which is which we are naturally endowed with, for example, the senses, and there are systems which we will have to develop and acquire and develop. So also, Shabda, the words are also capable of generating knowledge, but you will have to acquire. So Shravanam is a process which you will initiate in order to acquire the pramana. Now, once when the words are there, words with meaning, Tattvamasi is there with you. Now these words will generate the knowledge. So you have to have the words with knowledge, and this knowledge will generate yet another knowledge, which is Brahmakara Vritti. Okay. Now this is Shravanam, which means a conclusive understanding about the Upanishad. So, by knowing Brahman, liberation takes place. Then, what is that Brahman will be shown by the Upanishad. Okay. So, this conclusive understanding is what is called as Shravanam, Tatparya Nishchayaha. Shravanam is not, jaake ke kaan pavitra kariye. No. We are doing Shravanam. You know what Shravanam means? Every morning we go and sit for Upanishad, and we don't understand, but then something falls in the ears. Hey, something falling in the ears is not Shravanam. Something falling in the ears is just that you are employing your time in investing your time in something that may become auspicious to you later on, but that is yet not Shravanam. It is doing something good, better than just rolling in the bed. But what is Shravanam? Tatparya Nishchaya. Okay. Tatparya Nishchaya. So over here, the pramanam is acquired. Now, whenever a system gains the status of a pramana, there is one more, there are two conditions that it needs to fulfill. One condition is that this system, which is generating a new cognition, should show something which cannot be seen, which cannot be known through any other system. Okay. Just take the example of eyes. The eyes will show you colors and forms. The olfactory system, the gustatory system, the tactual system, the auditory system, all these systems which we have, none of them are capable of showing, revealing colors and forms. Your skin may tell whether it is cold or hot, rough or smooth. But will the skin be able to tell whether it is red or blue? No. You understand? Your nose may tell you, your nose may allow you to know whether it is smelling bitter or whether it is smelling sweet. But will it tell you whether it is red or blue? No. Whether that object is red or blue or any other color will be shown to you only by the eyes, and none of the other systems have this capacity to do so. So therefore the eyes are a pramanam when it comes to Ruparanga. So what is Brahman? What is liberation? These are the things which are shown only by the Upanishad, by the Shruti, and therefore Shruti, when it comes to the accomplishment of Moksha Purushartha, we have no other goal, no other refuge other than Shruti. And therefore Shruti, Brahman is Shrutiyeka Gamya. Okay? Shrutyeka Gamya. Shrutyeka Gamya. Then the next condition is that this pramana, in order for the system to stay as a pramana, whatever knowledge it has generated should not get cancelled, falsified by any other system. Okay? By any other system. If it gets falsified, then the system A does not remain as a pramanam. Okay? It may generate cognition, but that cognition has to be prama, knowledge. Because there can be an erroneous cognition too. Erroneous cognition cannot be called as knowledge. Brahmajnanam is not jnanam. It is just a cognition, but it is not jnanam. It is not prama. Now, the Shruti has said, Ato anyad artam. So now the Shabda Pramana is saying that other than Brahman, everything else is artam, not real, not nityam. against which now the Vaisheshika system, through their inference, are coming to the conclusion that all these Shat Padarthas are Nitya in some way. Of course, the Prithvi, Jala, etc., as Paramanu only are Nitya. Akasha is Nitya. So Akasha, etc. So all of those Shat Padarthas, six categories that they have brought to us, they are Nitya. So now this is directly in contradiction to what the Shruti has shown. What did the Shruti say? Ato anyadartam. Remember, don't. This is the main topic going on. Ato anyad artam. This is the thing. Other than Brahman, everything is anityam. That means now the Shruti is being contradicted by the Vaisheshika conclusion. If this conclusion is correct, then the Shruti loses the status of being a Pramana. Then the Shruti loses the status of being a Pramana. And therefore, the whole struggle over here now is to see, to verify that whatever the Vaisheshika conclusion is, and that conclusion is in some way employing the inference, how correct it is. If it is correct, then the Shruti in the natural course will have to be rejected. It cannot become Pramana. Got it? Shruti can't be called as a Pramana. And therefore, but if these conclusions of the Vaisheshika system in some way are defective, then it does not affect the Shruti Pramanyam. It will not affect the Shruti as a Pramana. Got it? What have they said? They are saying Akasha, etc. is Nitya. Why is Akasha Nitya? Because Akasha is Vibhu, all pervasive. And because Akasha is all pervasive, Akasha is Nitya like Atma. Okay? That is what they conclude. Then we question, how do you define Vibhu? How do you define what is Vibhu? So the first definition of Vibhutva, of what can be called as the Vibhuness, all pervasiveness, is told to us as Sarvamurta Dravya Sanyogitvam, something which can come in contact with all the objects with form is called as Vibhu. Okay? So there is a contact, and that contact is when something that is formless and all pervasive comes in, there is a contact between the objects which have formed and this and all the objects, then we will say it is vibhu. Okay. Now this is the thing. Sarva Murta Dravya Sanyogitvam Vibhutvam. We are going to say, how is the contact possible? Because contact is possible, we can see between two objects, and both these objects have a form. Okay, so the contact is between these two fingers, and the contact is only in their some area, not all over. Okay, like the Kapi Shakha Sanyoga अथवा Kapi Vriksha Sanyoga. The monk is sitting on the tree. So the monkey which is sitting on the tree, the monkey is not in contact with the entire tree, nor is the tree contacting the monkey in all its body. Only its bottom is touching the tree. And in the case of the tree, just one branch of the tree, and in that branch also just that much area, which now on which the monkey is sitting, just that bottom part of the monkey is in contact with the tree. So wherever there is a contact, the contact will stay only in certain area. And when the area is defined, it means that the other object or both the objects have to be savayava. Savayava means with part. Only one part of the tree and one part of the monkey have the contact between each other. Okay, so the contact will be between two things. But how will that contact be? That contact technically we will say avritti vyapya. Okay. Okay. Ha. Sanyogasya avyapya vrittitaya. Avyapya vritti. I said it the wrong way. Avyapya vritti. Not avritti vyapya. It is avyapya vritti. That's my mistake. Just in one part. If your Akasha is Vibhu and Niravayava, if your Akasha, the space is Niravayava, how can the contact be possible? Because the contact requires the object which is Savayava. Avayava means a part. Savayava means with the part. Niravayava means partless, without any parts. Niravayava. Therefore, this definition that Sarva Murta Dravya Sanyogitvam cannot be called as Vibhutvam. It cannot be called as Vibhutvam. Now, when you do not have any definition to prove what is Vibhu, and then you are saying because the Akasha is Vibhu, Akasha is Nitya, challenging the Shruti ato anyadartham is not possible. Got that whole thing? The argument is clear or not? Yeah, hopefully. Therefore, it is not Vibhu avyapya vrittitaya. Then the Nayayika comes up with yet another refined definition of what is Vibhu. He says Vibhutva means that whose measure is highest, supreme. What is supreme measure? Mahat Parimanatvam. Okay. Napi Parama Mahat Parimanatvam Vibhutvam. Parama Mahat Parimanasya Anirupanat. Now, what do you mean by highest measure? You can say something is 10 centimeters. You can say something is 100 centimeters. You can say something is so many kilometers, light kilometers. But how will you say Mahat Pariman, the highest measure? You do not have any. And therefore cannot, since it cannot be even said, cannot be explained, cannot be understood, based on which now you are saying this is what is Vibhu, and because it is Vibhu, it is Nitya. Such kind of an argument is Sheikh Chilli. You know what is Sheikh Chilli? Daydreaming. So Anirupana. All right. So we will not say the Nayayika, Vaisheshika. What does he say? We will not say the highest measure. We will say that what cannot be measured is highest. That which cannot be measured is highest. That cannot be measured is highest. So now this is taken. Nacha iyatanavachinna parimanatva paramahatvam parama mahatvam tathatve manabhavat. We do not have anything to prove that something which cannot be measured is called as Param Mahat, highest. Just because you are not able to measure, does that become highest? Or does it only prove your inability to measure? Does it prove that it is something Parama Mahat? Or does it only prove that you are not able to measure? Tell us. Therefore, you do not have any definition of Vibhu. Based on that Vibhu, you are saying Akasha is Nitya. So when the Vibhutvam itself cannot be proven, Nityatvam of your Akasha cannot be proven. And because Akasha, etc., cannot be proven as Nitya, then even challenging and falsifying the Shruti is also not possible. And therefore, Shruti remains intact, unchallenged, unaffected as the Praman. What is the Shruti? Ato Anyadartam. Got it? Ato Anyadartam. Shruti remains as the Praman, shines. Then he goes to say, we will try one more, we will make one more attempt in proving what is Vibhu. Because based on Vibhu, only the Nityatvam can be proven. And if Akasha, etc., can be proven as Nitya, only then the Shruti can be falsified. If the Shruti gets falsified, then Atma cannot be proven as Brahman. Got it? It goes right up to then. If Atma is not Brahman, then by knowing Atma is Brahman, one is liberated. Even this is also not possible. Then how is liberation possible? Then some other thing is there. They are going to present. But you first of all, you begin from here, prove what is Vibhu. You go that far. So he says, because let us say something can be called as vibhu, because when the effect is available everywhere, that means naturally the karanam, the cause is also available everywhere. You understand? Sarvatra karyopalabdhi. What is the definition now they are going to use for vibhutvam? Sarvatra karyopalabdhi. That the effect should become available everywhere. Now, naturally, if the effect is there, that means even the karanam, the cause is also there. Everywhere means it is all pervasive. So that is how he wants to prove the vibhutvam. Do you see what is the problem here now? The thing is, because the karyam is available, you are saying the karanam is vibhu. Because the karyam is available everywhere, that's why the karanam is vibhu. Hope all of you are able to keep up with this, okay? Vibhu means all pervasive, don't forget. Otherwise, the words you will keep on listening and then there will be, finally you will come. But Swamiji, you know what is vibhu? I didn't understand that only. Oh, don't make me sound like some choker then. Okay. So now, is it necessary that wherever the karanam is there, the karyam has to be present? Is it necessary? Can you say wherever there is mud, the pot will be there always? And just when the pot is not there, will you be able to say there is the mud is also not there? Will you be able to say that wherever the pot is not there, the mud is also not there? So wherever the karyam is, the, the karanam has to be there. But wherever the karyam is not there, does that mean it is an indication of absence of karanam too? No. So if the karyam is not there, then your vibhutva cannot be proven. And therefore, sarvatra karyopalabdhihi eva manam iti navachyam. Don't give this kind of a definition, sir. Why? Tarhi yatra kadapi karyam nopalabhyet tatra tarasiddhya vibhutva siddhehe. So if the karyam is not there, then your vibhutva cannot be proven. That means that your akasha will not be vibhu. So such kind of a definition is also a limited, lame definition. So without that definition, when you cannot really prove what is vibhu, and therefore that what is vibhu is nityam, and such akasha is nityam, and therefore it challenges the shruti and falsifies the shruti, such lamba challenge is not there. It cannot be there. Tatra asiddhya vibhutva siddhe. Now, up to this point, the Shabda Pramana called as Shruti was not contradicted by the Anumana Pramana. So far, what has happened? The Pramanyam of the Shruti has been preserved. Got it? What has happened so far? The Pramanyam of the Shruti is, Pramanyam means the capacity of a system to be called as an appropriate means of knowledge is Pramanyam. What is Pramanyam? The capacity of a system to hold a status as the means of knowledge is Pramanyam. So now this Pramanyam, so Shruti remains as the appropriate, undefective means to generate the knowledge, is retained because it is not opposed by the Anuman, by inference. We have seen several ways the inference was employed to prove Vibhutva and Nityatvam of Akasha. It could not. Okay? Then maybe there is some other system through which the Shruti still can be falsified. Which is the other system? So let us say it is also through Upamana Pramana knowledge can be generated. So Upamana, sorry, Upamana also can become a Pramana. What is Upamana? All of you have already gone through this little exercise of appreciating the 6 systems of Pramana. In Vedanta, we have 6. The yogis, etc., accept only 3. Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Shabda. The Buddhas accept only 2. Pratyaksha and Anumana. We say there are 6 systems through which we gather knowledge. Okay, we have knowledge. Upamana is one. One example of the Upamana is, let us say, somebody who has not seen a bison. Somebody who has not seen a bison, the wild buffalo. Indian bison, he has not seen. American bisons are still different, okay? An Indian bison we are talking, wild buffalo. He had not seen ever in life. Then he asks someone, "Sir, what is a bison? Huh? What is that? What is it?" And this old man in the village says, "It is like a buffalo, like our buffalo, but much bigger in size and stronger in body, big, huge. In fact, it is huge, intimidating." So that is bison. Now this man goes into the jungle. He is walking through that forest and he sees an animal which he has never seen before. But he knows this is a bison. How did he know? Because the simile which the old man in the village had drawn for him, like buffalo, like buffalo, has allowed him to know this is bison. You see? So now the Upama has allowed him to know something which he had not known before. And therefore, Upaman, this simile, becomes a means for him to know. Knowing means something that was not known before and becomes known now. Therefore, and the system which has generated it is the Upamana Pramana. Now we are going to see, is Upamana Pramana, does the Upamana Pramana have the capacity to falsify the Shruti ato anyadartham? Does that have the capacity to do so? If it happens, then the Shruti loses the status of being a Pramanam. Pramanyam, Pramanya Hani will take place. Yeah. Napi Upama. I hope you people are getting the line that we are following. On page number 68, the central paragraph, second last line. Napi Upamana Virodha. Napi Upamana Virodha. Even Upamana as a Pramanam does not contradict and falsify the Shruti. Why? Nityatva bhavepi tat sambhavat. Because even if you want to prove something as, even if something is proven as Vibhu, even if this Akash is proven as Vibhu, it does not prove that Akasha is Nitya. Because we can prove that space is all pervasive, yet not Nityam, eternal, timeless, indestructible, unborn, uncreated. So, what will we prove then? That space also has absence, A, and therefore is not what? Vibhu, is not Nityam, is not Nityam. Okay? Nityatva bhavepi tat sambhavat. Tat sambhavat means kim sambhavat? Nityatva bhavepi vibhutva sambhavat. Got it? We will see that. He will explain. Napi agama virodha. Even it is not contradicted by any other shruti or smriti. So napi agama virodha vadivakyasya pramanatvat shrutihi tu anityameva bodhayati. And Shruti unanimously goes to conclude that Brahman alone is Nityam, Ato Anyad Artam. Everything else is Anityam. Therefore, by employing, even when you employ Pratyaksha Pramana, inference, Anumana Pramana, Upamana Pramana, Agama Pramana, none of these Pramanas are able to falsify the Shruti, and therefore, when the Shruti says Brahman alone is the Karanam, Brahman is the Jagat Karanam, this Siddhant, this knowledge is not falsified by any of the Pramanas. Got it? So this is not an appeal. Have firm faith. Hey, you already have faith that Shruti is a Praman, that itself is sufficient enough. You don't require anything more than that. Now we have to see that is that Shruti getting falsified or not. That's all. Okay? You understand? And this is how the doubts are removed. So acquiring the pramana is Shravanam, removing the doubts about the knowledge, removing the doubts which will be infesting the knowledge generated by the pramana is the process of manana. Therefore, resolving doubts and the removing the viparita bhavana is called as nididhyasana. Okay. Now, when something is proven to be right, and yet because of your earlier impressions, you continue to have the error again and again, then that error is due to the earlier experiences. Now, to remove that erroneous conclusions due to the earlier experiences, we have the process of nididhyasanam. Okay? What is that, etc.? We will see it in due course. So, Shravana, Manana, and nididhyasana. This is the Vedantic sadhaka. If you are going to ask, then, sir, we thought that, Swamiji, that sadhana means that one has to do a lot of other things and all. Yes, which is also true. That sadhana means, don't you translate the word sadhana as spiritual practice. Let us have a little change over here. Sadhanam, the meaning of the word sadhana is means. Correct? Karanam, means. And when you are saying means, the meaning is something through which a particular thing is accomplished is the means. When you want to have hot water, fire is the means. Correct? When you want to have cold water, fire, you cannot put the pan on the fire. You will have to put that pan in the refrigerator. So the means has changed. Depending upon what is to be accomplished, the means will become different. Sadhanam. Depending upon what is it that you need to accomplish, immediately the means will be determined. So when you see that presently the mind is disturbed and it needs to be pacified, then what is the reason for its disturbance? Then you will discover it is my own expectations, desires, and attachments, etc., which is causing the mind to be disturbed. Correct? Which is causing the mind to be disturbed. Then what is it that you want to accomplish? You want to accomplish, create a mind which is now not expecting, a mind which is not filled with desires, a mind which is not constantly attached to something, sucking away, on it. That is the kind of mind you want to accomplish. When this is what you want, the means are going to be different. When you want the mind to be silenced, the means are different. When you want knowledge to take place, the means are different. Got it? Therefore, whether it is karma yoga, japa, kirtana, these are all sadhanas, but they have different ends to accomplish. And therefore, by saying that something is spiritual sadhana, spiritual practice, is not going to justify. It becomes spiritual when it is actually working on yourself. Okay? So when you are going to create a body which is free from diseases and that body can be employed for meditation purpose, then this is spiritual. But if you want to create a body which you want to employ in order to have more and more Vishaya Bhoga, now that is not spiritual. It can be yoga, but it is not Adhyatmic sadhana. Got it? When you want to work on yourself, it starts working on yourself. It is Adhyatmikam, spiritual. So therefore, now, depending upon what is to be accomplished, the means will be there. And hence, we have different means like the Karma Yoga, Kirtanam, chanting of bhajans, God's name, doing the japa, doing the parayana, fasting, keeping maun, keeping silence, then even, meditating, and then finally coming and listening to Veda. This is all of it is spiritual. But you have to determine what is the use, what is it that you immediately need to accomplish. So all this is sadhanam. When your mind is already calm, when that mind is not hankering after anything, when the mind is no longer attached to anything, thinking that that thing, that person, that certain project or certain activity will become the cause of my happiness, when it is not attached, and such a mind now which is free from all encumbrances, now simply wants to know the truth and be free, then Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam is the sadhana. And that Shravana means Tatparya Nishchaya of Vedanta, of the Upanishad. Therefore, the final sadhana is Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam only. That is final. But on the way, when you want to create a mind which is now useful in Shravana Mananam, all other things also will become important. Everything has its own importance. And therefore, there is nothing like this is the best spiritual sadhana. Nothing like that. Nobody is in competition. And therefore, depending upon what is your immediate need, it will be the best for you. But here we are doing this Shravanam, and that Shravanam means conclusion of the Upanishad. That means that the doubts are removed regarding the conclusion of the Upanishad. Ato anyadartham. And so when the Upanishad says that Brahman is the Jagat Karanam, every other claim that not Brahman but Paramanu, etc., is the Jagat Karanam, all such claims will have to be settled, silenced. Because that alone proves Atma, Brahman is Jagat Karanam, that Brahman, this Atma is, and thus by knowing, doubtlessly, without any contradictions. Now, such knowledge has the capacity to destroy the ignorance, and avidya nivritti is moksha siddhi. Okay, that is what we have to see. We will go by that as we keep progressing. Mahadev, 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 Mahadev. ब्रह्माहं यत्प्रसादेन मयि विश्वं प्रकल्पितं श्रीमत्स्वयं प्रकाशाख्यं प्रणौमि जगतां गुरुं यः परमात्मा जगत्सृष्ट्वा प्रविवेश पुनः स्वयं तं कृष्णं प्रत्यगात्मानं वन्दे गोपी मनोहरम् यस्य प्रसादादहमद्वयात्मा विश्वं समस्तं मयि कल्पितं च तं सर्वलोकैकगुरुं सदाश्री स्वयं प्रकाशं गुरुमानतोऽस्मि गुरूणां चरणां भोजम् प्रणिपत्य निरन्तरम् तत्कृपालेशतो द्वैत चिन्ताकौस्तुभमारभे ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्त शान्त शान्तिः शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. Thank you all. Thank you very much.